to Harvey in Delray Beach. Harvey, you are live on the line.
Ambassador, I'm glad to be part of this conversation with you. I'd like to hear your thoughts on term limits. I've been a fan of it for a number of years, but it just doesn't seem to ever take off.
Oh, listen, we could spend a day talking about term limits. I have fought for term limits pretty much my entire career. I think that for a few reasons. I'll go back. You know, when I became a legislator in the State House years ago, back in 2005, I came in with a group of freshmen that had just beat a lot of establishment people. The majority leader lost. I had defeated the longest serving legislator in South Carolina at the time. So there was a group of us that really came to kind of make a difference, and we had defeated the old guard. But what I saw over a couple of years was I saw my very friends that I came in with start to change. And I remember going and telling my husband, if you ever see that happen to me, make sure you tell me, because I'm scared I won't see it myself. And what happens is when you run for office, you're as close to the people as it gets, because you hear their concerns, you know what their fights are, you know what they're thinking. And then when you go to work, you're not hearing from the people as much. You're hearing more from the lobbyists. You're hearing more from the government people. You're hearing more from the seniors who've been there who are saying this is not how we do things, or, you know, we've already tried that. We can't do that. And so I have long been a fighter for term limits. When I became governor in South Carolina, I really tried to push for term limits in the legislature. And what I told the legislature at the time was, let the people decide. You know, all I'm asking is for you to pass the legislation, that we have a vote on the ballot, that the people can decide if they want term limits. And they would not do it. And it was infuriating to me. You know, as a governor, I think it was right. We had 2 terms. If you can't get it done in 2 4-year terms, you need to move along and let someone else do it. And I think the same thing for Congress. You know, when you go and you look at this stimulus package that was way overblown with a bunch of things in there that aren't helping real people, or if you look at all the waste of time that has happened over this past year to 2 years of nothing being done on immigration, nothing being done on infrastructure, nothing being done on debt, nothing being done on so many issues that real Americans care about, it shows you why we need term limits in place. And any Congress can pass this, any state house can pass it, and they can allow the people to decide if it's put on a ballot. The problem is we have to go through the elected officials to get that to happen. I won't stop fighting for term limits. Stand for America's fighting for term limits. And I think it's something that we have to do. I think it's hugely important to get new voices, fresh ideas in the pipeline. I think it's important to change with the times. And I think, honestly, when people stay there too long, they get tired and they get set in their ways. And that's just not what the American people need.
Yes. And while we're on the subject, I think many of the folks on this call know that we lost a term limit champion this last week in Senator Tom Coburn, and what a hero he was to conservatives and the conservative movement in the country. And he campaigned on term limits, and he served and he stuck to his promise in the House, stuck to his promise in the Senate, and we need more like him. So we're going to carry that torch proudly in his after he's passed.